On everyone, it's your boy Ben and JB from JBM Sports Media, and here today we're going to be continuing our MLB season projection series. Today we're heading towards the AL West to talk about the Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics, Oakland Athletics, Vegas, soon-to-be Athletics, whatever you guys want to call them. And obviously we're going to start off with the good thing about the Athletics, should I say great even, this lineup. JB, if you want to get into the lineup.
Listen, this is one lineup that it's young, but the talent is through the roof. I mean, Nick Kurtz, Rookie of the Year, 36 home runs, almost 100 RBIs. This kid was absolutely fantastic. Shea Langeliers is going to be, to me, last year especially, he was on my fantasy team. He was one of the most underrated catchers, not just in the AL, but all of baseball. I think he almost hit 30 home runs as well. Knocked in a bunch of RBIs, hit for average, is a really good defensive catcher. I love him. Brent Rooker. Obviously, one of the most consistent DHs / outfielders that you could have. High average guy, has power, has the ability to knock in runs. Obviously, Tyler Soderstrom, he just got locked up on a 7-year deal, very team friendly. But this kid's going to be definitely, a piece that they should keep in their outfield and something that they could grow with. Jacob Wilson, he was also somebody that was looking like he was going to be the Rookie of the Year until Nick Kurtz came out of nowhere the second half of the year and just completely exploded. Jeff McNeil is somebody that I do like. I think it's a nice veteran piece to have at second base. I think he'll provide a decent bat and, hopefully mediocre defense that'll be okay at the second base spot. Lawrence Butler, Max Muncy, and Denzel Clark, these are three guys that are obviously young pieces that are going to be really good, in the future. I think Lawrence Butler, the sky's the limit with this kid. Denzel Clark, he didn't have such a great season numbers-wise. I don't think he had that much playing time, but I think he's going to come into his own in center field and be a nice piece there. And obviously Max Muncy at the corner, infield position. I think he has a lot of upside as well. I really don't think that this offense is going to struggle, in terms of scoring runs. I think there's going to be a lot of games they score 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 runs, a lot. And honestly, obviously we'll get into their pitching, but I think their pitching is going to have to pick up the slack because this offense should be really good. And having another year under their belts, mixing in with some nice veteran pieces, I think this offense is going to be ready to go. Honestly, I think they'll be a really good offense and they'll score a lot of runs.
I absolutely agree with you. I think this has the potential to be at least a top 5 offense this year in the MLB. And because of such a stacked lineup, 1 through 4, 1 through 5 even, I feel like is guaranteed money every night with Kurtz, Langeliers, Rooker, Soderstrom, and Wilson. Even I expect Lawrence Butler to have a better year. Denzel Clark is a really good defender. We could see if he could finally take that step with the bat. And even, we haven't even got into their prospects, but Leo DeVries, I wonder when he's going to come up, their number 1 ranked prospect. I think he's top 5 in all of baseball pipeline. It's absolutely incredible how they did get a great return in that Mason Miller trade. Obviously, we'll talk about their pitching rotation and bullpen in a second, but when it comes to this lineup, I'm thinking right here, just looking at it, we're looking at a top 5 potential lineup in offensive rating this year in baseball. That's just my opinion. I think they have explosive hitters right here with Rooker, with Kurtz. They have, with Langeliers as well, but they have contact as well with Wilson, McNeil, Butler, Denzel Clark. I think it's a little bit of everything that you find here. Obviously, Tyler Soderstrom, he got locked up, like you said. So did Jacob Wilson. Lawrence Butler got locked up a year ago, I think 2 years ago as well with Rooker. So they've done very well. And I've heard talks, I don't know if it's 100% true, but they're trying to get an extension with Kurtz as well. So they're trying to do that by opening day. If they can lock up this core offensively, they are on a step to the right track for whenever they do make that official move to Vegas. Because, bro, this is a team that, looking at the home run ball, looking at even contact, like I said, you're going to get a little bit of everything. And that's perfect offensively.
Absolutely.
But like you said, the problem isn't with the offense whatsoever. Going into the starting rotation right here, we'll get into it. Their ace, Luis Severino, who had an absolutely atrocious year 1 with them. And then they have Jeffrey Springs, Luis Morales, Jacob Lopez, and they did sign Aaron Savali to round out that rotation. JV, what do you think about this rotation? Obviously headlined by Luis Severino, but it's tough knowing the year that he had. We've talked about it in our bounce back candidates, I think. But, we'll talk about him in a second. What do you think about the rotation in general?
Well, Luis Severino, he's got to understand where he signed, and he has to stop complaining about the home ballpark. I understand it was a tough place to play. It's not even a a minor league ballpark. It's a college ballpark, and I understand some adjustments have to be made. But a lot of guys
Right.
made a lot of adjustments. It's time to just pony up and do what you have to do. Figure it out. Try to get into a groove. You're not going to pitch there every fifth day. You're going to be on the road as well. But the games that you do pitch at home, you have to figure it out. You have to be better at home. And if he's better at home, this team will go a lot farther than they did last year. Jeffrey Springs is, to me, it's such a what if with this guy. He could have been a real nice piece for any team, not just the A's. I know in Tampa he was also injury prone the most of his career. So only time will tell to see what happens with him. And I'm also interested to see what Aaron Savale is going to do in that fifth spot. I know he was very good in Cleveland. He gave them a lot of depth. He was able to pitch out of the bullpen as a long reliever, come back into the rotation as a fifth guy or a fourth guy. So we'll see what happens with that. And they have, obviously, in the 3 and the 4 spot, 2 young guys in Luis Morales and Jacob Lopez rounding out the rest of that rotation. And honestly, I could see what they did. They went righty-lefty, righty-lefty, righty, mixing and matching pretty well. So honestly, they'll go as far as Severino goes. If they can get anything out of Springs, any type of positivity, it'd be nice if he can give them 150 innings, but I don't know if that's something that's going to come to fruition. So we'll see what just happens. And obviously the middle of this this rotation is going to have to, pony up and do their part just so there's not a lot of pressure on Severino to have to go out and pitch 6-7 innings of stellar baseball every time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look, I do like the aspect of Jacob Lopez. I think he has some good stuff. It's just, can he finally get it all to click together throughout a full season? Potentially, I actually do think he's a promising pitcher. Luis Morales, I think we're just going to have to see more of a sample size with him. Aaron Savali, it's a good veteran piece, but at this point, you kind of know what you're going to get with him, really. Springs, like you said, very injury prone. He did pitch, I would say, very underwhelming last year when he did play with the Athletics, but a lot of those pitchers did in that ballpark, to be fair. So that's something that they're going to get accustomed to. Severino, like I said, I do expect a bounce back season from him. It's just how much will that actually play into a factor of helping them, especially when we get into the bullpen right now, knowing that he's going to have to be damn near under a 3 ERA for them to even have a chance to sniff a wild card spot. If not, it's not happening, in my opinion. In this pitching rotation, even that, it's a huge question mark, because I don't like it. I don't like it that much. I really think it's going to be what's going to be their downfall. That in the bullpen, like I said. And yeah, that's what I do got to say about this rotation.
No, yeah, listen, I agree with you 100%. I think and the minute 1 or 2 of these guys go down for health reasons,
Man.
Severino's had a little bit of issues, from time to time, but he's been pretty reliable. But the minute Springs goes down, who are you putting in that 2 hole? And now what does this mean for a guy like Luis Morales and Lopez and Savale? Do they move up and maybe someone else gets thrown into the 5th hole, or does the rotation stay the same and they just take out Springs and throw somebody else in there? But is it going to be a prospect? Is there a veteran presence that they could go to? I don't think so. It's going to be really tough if they start sustaining injuries to this rotation because it's not even that good when they're 100% healthy. So the fact that one of these guys goes down is just going to put them behind the 8 ball even more.
Absolutely. And it's about that time to talk about the A's bullpen right here. Closer by committee at the moment, they have Hogan Harris, Justin Sterner, Mark Leiter Jr., funny enough, Michael Kelly, Scott Barlow, Elvis Alvarado, Luis Medina, Brady Basso. I mean, Jesus, this is bad. This is really bad right here. What do you think about this, JB?
Listen, when you have Mark Leiter Jr. listed as a potential closer, that's not good. I mean, first of all, how many closers do you need? Oakland, Sacramento, Vegas, whatever you want to call yourselves. Do you really need 3 closers? You need to bridge the gap somehow I'm going to say Hogan Harris will be the closer. He had a decent year last year in 66 innings pitched. He was 2-1 with a 3.20. Pretty formidable, pretty solid. So I think he'll take the reins as closer. I guess you could flip-flop Justin Sterner and Mark Leiter Jr. in one of those roles. Maybe one guy goes the 8th one day and one guy goes the 7th. Maybe they're interchangeable that way. I just don't like them being listed as 3 closers. Scott Barlow's been a nice veteran presence that can really help out the middle of this bullpen, and obviously Elvis Alvarado is someone who's been around as well. But Brady Basso being a lefty and Hogan Harris being a lefty closer, that's usually not something that's common. So, just let me know what you think now, because I do see a lot of question marks here. I do see a lot of games blown. As a Yankee fan, I can tell you Mark Leonard Jr., if he doesn't get his curveball going, he's going to be in a ton of trouble. And he doesn't rely on his fastball. And when he's going to that curveball, if he doesn't have it that day, he's going to leave it hanging over the plate. And there's going to be major league hitters ready to mash. So I do see a lot of holes in this bullpen, but there are some bright spots. I think Harris has some upside. Obviously, like I said, Barlow has upside. Alvarado has some upside, but I do see them struggling, a lot in this bullpen.
I agree. I think this is going to be their biggest. I mean, I talked about the rotation, but this is going to be their biggest downfall right here whenever their rotation does perform at least to an extent decent. I think this is what's going to cost them a lot of games, like you mentioned, and I think it's a perfect transition to our over-under for the Oakland, or whatever you want to call them, the Athletics regular season win total in 2026. And their line is set at a very interesting line at over-under 75.5 wins. JV, I'll throw it to you. What do you got?
All right, so let's just say their pitching holds up. They're healthy for the most part. They don't have to be absolutely spectacular. They just have to be formidable and go out and be somewhat consistent. I say they barely get over this. They go 76 and 86, and they'll eclipse the 75.5 mark. I do think they get over. I think their offense, if they're healthy and they're clicking on all cylinders, I do think they'll be able to score enough runs to the point where it's going to win them a lot of games. Maybe steal some games that we wouldn't expect them to steal, maybe win a couple of series that we wouldn't expect them to win, and they just get over it at 76 and 86.
Man, I really try to go over with the talent that they do have. I really tried. It's just, I think there's a lot, they need a lot of what ifs to go their way this year. And that's why I'm going under. I'm going 74 wins, 74 wins for the Athletics this year. I just don't like it. 74-88. That's my final prediction right there. I just don't like what they have going on right there. Pitching wise, I think that's going to be their biggest down. Like I said before, it's going to be their biggest downfall. And obviously people might disagree because of how great their offense is. Could they boost them to 76 wins? Absolutely. But I think they're going to end up losing a lot of the games because of their bullpen imploding at the end. So that's just my personal opinion. JV got the over. I got the under. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Over, under 75.5 for the A's. As always, make sure to subscribe here to YouTube at JBM Sports Media. Follow us on TikTok and IG at JBM Sports Media. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.